Cookies and lost eye chummies. Who my broom, my sister. Hide up for you. Hide up for you. Trade op je sokjes en hoop om bescovies. So my sister, my bro. Hide up for you. Hide up for you. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. My sister. Stand up. My brother. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand
Welcome back to the second half of Real Talk with Pastor A and Jamal. And we are talking about real issues, making real impacts in our lives, and changing our lives for the better. Today, we are talking about families, but more specifically,
one of the challenges of the blessing from it is that every parent has a different style of raising their children because everybody is different, everybody is unique, so that means everybody will be raised different as well. But can you also help us with that?
yes, true, Jamal. As parents, we come from different backgrounds, and we obviously were raised differently as well. But raising children, not just in a blended family, step family setup, it is important, it is very much important year of raising their children. And more specifically, so in a blended family setup, disciplining the child, um, it opens a door for manipulation. It opens a door for confusion from the child's side. It opens a door um, of creating. They agree on the discipline method. They agree on the on the discipline style of the child or of the children in order to avoid the stress, um, in order to avoid a lack of communication, and that the child also to create a clear expectation of the child's responsibilities and what is expected of a child. Parents, this is one of the crucial things that um, brings about uncomfortable, or yeah, say let's say it makes it uncomfortable in the household when the parents do not agree on a discipline style, and it does also make a difference. It's not just for, as I say, for in a blended family setup, but with your own children as well. We get parents, or other one is more strict, but the child will adapt to lenient than the one that is more strict one. And my husband is the more lenient one. And Jamal once said to me, um, he likes his
That is more lenient. It's just that
meer my stem in die huis.
yes. But I actually don't remember saying that. Because I'm in the mindset of I am in the mindset of OTP, one through parent. Like you one off and my father's other off, because that's what you are in the marriage. You are one person. But for me, when it came to the leniency, before I knew that my father was actually strict, I would lean more towards him because he is more
He says
lenient.
yes
And
for everything.
well, most things, I would say most things. Yeah, but the thing is, as well, a lot of us kind of abuse that. A lot of us
True.
children, we take advantage of it. But I think I thought about it at an earlier stage than most other children would. That even though my father might say yes to more things, I must not use that to my advantage, because I can also stir up conflicts between my two parents. And I do not like it when my parents argue or fight or whatever. It's and that because that also affects very young. My parents would argue a lot, then I would always ask, can I go stay with my grandmother rather? Because I do not want to be in between. I do not want to hear what you guys are talking about, and I do not want to be there. But the leniency as well is something I'm also on about, because with my cousin as well, he also sees with his mother that she's more lenient than his father. Then he would also use that to his advantage. And he's, like my mother said earlier, he always wants things to go his way. That is also why we are trying to teach him about the no. But also with the leniency, a lot of children, just because one of the parents is more lenient than the other, it's also better that you do not take advantage of that, because at the end of the day, when your parents get divorced because of that, you might also feel that guilt that comes with it, because you can feel that it's your advantage. Because if I had to stay between only one of my parents, it would be a difficult decision, because I love them both equally, and I can't just stay with one. I need to have both in my life.
Yeah. Just on the add on there, Jamal. Parents don't necessarily, or parents don't get divorced because of the child leaning towards the one that is more lenient. Um, but there are different reasons why adults get divorced, but that is a topic for another day. That is something for another day. But um, we are talking about the challenging or the or challenges and benefits of having a blended family, but also in particular family as a whole. But we why we focusing on blended families, it is because there are two different families blending into one. What you touched on earlier, Jamal, is competition for attention. And it is not only partner feels that the other one um, pays more attention to the child or to the children, because come, let's say the children needs to adapt to the situation. So now the grown up um, also causes conflict, because they feel that they are being neglected, because they focus on the child because of their need. The child finds it hard to adjust as much time with the child as possible. And you will find that in this situation that the child needs more attention um, from the one, because another the child will manipulate the one parent into spending more time with the child. The parents, and I just want to put this out there, that you need to be aware of um, the child's behavior, because the child might bring any or yeah any kind of thing in to so that his biological parent will spend more time with him as well. And we just need to to pay careful attention to that kind of behavior as well. um, and the child as well. Know the child, build a good relationship, and make the child understand that you are not there to steal away their relationship. It is important, as much as you as a new couple want to spend time with one another, it is also important as a family to do some meaningful family activities together, so that the child does not feel that he is being excluded from this new family, but to create opportunities where the family can spend time together and go on outings and do fun activities, maybe on a Friday night, some games night, or the picnic. And all the children, we will make a Christmas bed, we will camp out in the lounge, and we will watch a movie or play some games, or maybe play some catch up, where the children would share, because we used to see them every 2 weeks. So we would play catch up and have them share um, what they've gone through, new experiences, and especially as the children grows older, as a family. True.
Yes, and then I will actually talk about the next challenge: conflicts between children. I would know this very well, because when my brother first came to live with us, I was very on with my parents' attention. Then sometimes when they would go out, it would just be me and my brother as well. Then I would always stir up some conflict between us. Yeah, and then the conflicts between the children, it's also another thing when it also comes with the parents, because especially now with the blended families, the wives came from now the other marriage or now the step sibling, that both the parents should give him or her all the attention, which in my eye it doesn't feel right anymore. That's why I started. That's why I matured and started thinking, hey, we're both my parents' children, even though we might not have the same mother. My mother's also still a mother to you, because that's how you also see her. So I'll also see her like that. Then we both came to terms and found each other.
Yes, it's true. And the other thing also which creates conflict between children is the need to be cautious of is okay. Sorry, there's two things that we as parents need to be conscious of and cautious of is one, um, his child, your child, and my child. The other one is comparing our children with one another. I think those are the two most um, ongelyke dinge, as ek dit so kan stel, wat 'n mens kan doen. This is the word, sorry, that I want to use. It's the most unfair things that we can do to a child. Um, Being in a blended family, that we need to be cautious of the fact that we don't create this illusion of your child and my child. I know, and I think I used to also make myself guilty of this thing. This is now only when the three of us, then I would say, talk to your child. He is your child. Talk to your child. Not referring to my stepchildren, but referring to days that the parents have, is especially father would have a child, and this brings conflict between the two, and between the two children or more children, and this brings also inconsistency in terms of behavior and in terms of consequence management when it comes to the children. We can never compare our children with one another, in especially in a blended family setup. It is so unfair to compare the two children with one another, whether or not the one is older than the other. It is not fair because, as we know, makeup, we even look different, and to compare the two children with one another, saying that this child is such a quiet child, an introvert, he doesn't speak much, is well behaved, where the other one is a outspoken child, little less in sy rampie in. We cannot compare the one with the other, but what we constant when it comes to how we bring these children up. We cannot have the thing of your child and my child. We need to be consistent. We need to draw the line equally, and we need to not, because it brings division, it brings conflict between the children, and we do not want that. We want to create a safe environment for our children as well. So we need to be quite aware of this as well. And in a blended family is grief and loss after divorce or death. Divorce outcomes can take a toll on both children and their parents. Life, family home, and lost relationship with children, friends, and family. Children undergoing this difficult transition may exhibit some developmental and emotional problems. They may experience sleep difficulties, trouble at school, self-injury, anger outbursts, and defiant behaviors. Parents ought to understand how children are dealing with the loss so that they can offer support to their children. And parents, this is such an important point risen here. As I've mentioned before in the show, is that children perceive things differently. And once again, from my own personal experience, we've had our son, my husband's son, um, having trouble learning at school, and we struggled with him with anger outbursts and defiant behavior. And ons kan nie 'n kind pak gee om vir hom in sy rampie in reg te bring nie. The only way that the divorce and this transition as a loss, they lost a home. They don't see it that they've gained another home. They see that they've lost a father or a mother. So they need to deal with that loss. They need to go through a process of grieving. They need to go through a process they need to process the loss that they are experiencing. What they have known as their perfect life has now been disrupted, has now been shred into pieces, and they need to make understand of for us as children to understand. Sorry, it is important for us as parents to understand what our children are dealing with and how they are dealing with this loss and how we can help them to deal with this loss. And then I want to jump over to this the other topic is planning your blended family. It is important to consider every deal and to prepare them for this new family is important. Like that we need to imprint it in our children's brains that it is not their fault for the divorce, as I've said, as I've also for the children to understand it is not their fault. The relationship didn't work out between the mother and the father for various reasons, but the child should never. Then I want to, off the topic, but also a very important point is here. And I feel this very strong in my spirit that I want to share this, especially to the women out there. When you are going through a divorce, even if you haven't been married to your child's father, and they do not manipulate with relationships with father and child relationships, that I want to plead to us as women out there. I've known several women who have done this thing to bad mouth. Never plant that seed in your child's mind. Let the child continue to have that relationship with his father. Ek het nooit verstaan as my man die ding gesê het dat my skat, die kinders raak groot, hulle sal vir hulle self uitfigure wat is reg en verkeerd. In all glory to God, I can concur with that statement because at the end of the day, that child will make up his own mind. The child's eyes will what the situation really is. In order for your child to remain pure, mother, it is important sal nie verlore gaan as long as you parent in that child. As daai pa is Kibanga is, daai kind sal gou genoeg dit agterkom en sy eie mind opmaak aangaande daai pa. But we as women often make this mistake that when we go through a divorce or a separation or the relationship has broken up, we tend to make the man dat ons geneig is om die man swak te maak, especially teenoor die kind. And another thing I want to speak to us as women about, what after you've gone through your feelings and emotions and whatever you've gone through, let a relationship be birthed you to have a relationship with ex's new child in the long run. Remember, we are trying to bring up healthy children, build a healthy relationship with your partner's ex. If like in my case, my husband was married before. He's got 2 children from his previous marriage. It was not until I've had a deep encounter with my wife to the extent where she would feel comfortable to discuss or to talk to me about the children's needs or whatever the case might be, or about disciplining the children, or um, the children's future, or whatever the case might be. It is so important for that got a healthy relationship, even to the point where Jamal has that relationship with my husband's ex. It brings the child such a, I don't think comfort is the word, but it brings the child, it gives that child a some sort of, what is the word that I want to use now?
Understand.
When there wasn't a good relationship, the child will feel torn between the three parents. In this case, it was now three parents. The child will feel torn between the three parents. So I want to encourage us women, put aside our feeling, love this woman, but in most cases, love this guy. You need to know what you are setting yourself up for when entering into a blended relationship or a blended family. And it is important to um to prepare the children for this new family. I want to go back into that, to plan your blended family. Um, don't be in a hurry for the children to adore you. The relationship will come about with time, the relationship will heal. Um, rather be more interested to get to um, be interested to get to know them. Um, watch them at a range. Use activities that bring everyone in the family together. This will give you and the children more time to bond. Create opportunities for you and the children to bond. I know everybody's maybe not that fortunate, but take them out for the ice cream. If they like going to the beach, and if you can drive, take them to the beach. Spend some time with them. That is a real life activity that will will draw them closer to you. Happen when um, the two families collaborate. It is important to set down um, ground rules, and allow for the necessary adjustments to take place before you get married. Easier for the children. Um, do not set ultimatums yet, or at all. I out alterations. Sorry, ultimatums. For the children, expectation, and even for the children, do not set an expectation for the children that you for a fact know that they will not towards each other. Um, goes a long way, and it is mandatory. When I say respect is mandatory, it is important for us as adults to also respect the child. The child also has a right to privacy. The child also has a right to speak. And most often, and I am sometimes also guilty of that, we're going to know what the child's needs are and what is going on in the child's head. Um, for us as parents, we always tend to feel that we're always right. But it is important also that we give the child a hearing and respect the child as well. Jamal, is there anything that you want to share with us regarding
Yes, especially with
marriage?
the planning. For the parent, they should also what's gonna happen and how it's gonna be. Like you said, they must discuss the changes as well. So then they must also have like a sit down and talk with the child of how this is gonna affect how things may change in the house as well, and also for the parent, allow your I'm gonna say now new partner to also parent, not challenge, should not parent the
The child.
child. Yes, which that can also lead to many different many how can I say now difficulties,
Conflicts.
conflicts as well
Mm.
in the marriage as well. And then there's also not realizing that the ex is still part of the family too, because remember the child must also, if the ex is still around, of course, that the child must also spend some time with the ex as well, because you might have full custody over the child, but it's also good for the child to visit the other parent once in a while as well. And I'm not saying now like maybe once every 3 years, because I know there are parents that are like that. It's maybe like weekly or monthly even.
Yeah, like in our case, it was every second weekend. Jamal, you touched on something there about to parent the children as well. And I've seen this happen that in the new parent often gets um, bombarded, or not bombarded, but accused that they are not the child's real parent and that they don't have the authority to discipline. We cannot be stuck in the way how things were. New house, new rules apply in this house, and it is important, like you said now, that the new parent must be allowed to parent the child as well. Because at the end of the day, it will bring conflict, it will bring confusion if there is no if the other parent is not allowed to discipline the child, and it will also bring a very unhappy parent because it will be felt like this parent is good enough for certain things but is not good enough to discipline the child as well. And that is why it is important down and that both parents know what is expected of them. The other thing you touched on is to realize that the ex is still part of the family too. Because remember, that ex remains the child's parent. And that I'm not, we need to make a conscious decision to create a relationship with the ex, with the ex as well, because and maybe more family or of the child's life as difficult. It is still your partner's ex is of a good and healthy relationship. We're gonna take a small break, listen to some music. Yes, River.
En 2017 was ik een olifantshoek in die Noordkaap. En ik hoor predikantie die woorden. Hij zei: mijn God is een God van nieuwe dingen. En onmiddellijk toen hij die woorden zei, toen weet ik, hij moet de song wezen. Ik wil vandaag weer zingen. Ik wil het zingen aan de mensen van olifantshoek, die Noordkaap en de rest van de wereld. Mijn God is een God van nieuwe dingen. Nieuwe dingen. Ja, nieuwe dingen. Mijn God is een God van nieuwe dingen. Mijn God, ik ken
Rosedale Tire Sales for affordable 042243.
Pick out your blended family. It's to not try to continue as you were. Because if you do that, as it says here, you and your partner are now responsible for a larger family, which means you cannot continue as you were. Because if you do, then something bad may happen in there. Because remember, you both have different ways of parenting, so you must come together to a point where you know how.
Awarded to the child. Does the child go sit in the naughty corner for 10 minutes and then comes out, or what level of discipline measures will be put in place? It is absolutely important so that there won't be a confusion, at the end of the day. Then something else I want to touch on, two things is, the first one is that we need to understand that being a blended family is, you are going to be different from everyone else or from other families out there, and it is okay to be different. There is no textbook giving a clear definition of what a blended family is and what it means and what it should look like. You formulate your structure as you as according to what works for you. How it will be the best different situations than other people, because no family is directly the same. And what we can do is we can speak to other people and learn from them their best practices. But at the end of the day, what works for them might work for you, and what worked for them might also not work for you. Of say when it comes to raising children, but each child is unique and each child has their own way how they are made up. And the problems that you face in your family might not be the same problems that other people faces in their family. But what we do is we feed from one another, and that is how it arises in our relation. You and your partner are the ones that need to figure out how to face these problems, how to resolve matters arising in this family. And you and your partner will need to figure out what to do about each one of those things. And as I say again, your family is different, and it's okay for you to be different. It's okay for you to not look like any of these other natural families out there. It is not, it's not very strange, although different, but you can pride yourself in it, that you are. I want to talk to especially the women out there. If you don't have any children yet of your own from a previous relationship, it might not be easy for you to suddenly become a mother or even a father. There are things that you are going to get wrong. There are things that you will have to learn from the word go, or from the specific instance. But you don't have to beat yourself up about it. You don't have to crucify yourself if you have made mistakes, because being a parent doesn't come with a manual. We learn as we go along, and we have the Holy Spirit with us that guides us and teaches us how even to educate our child. And maybe parents, I can put this thing out there for you. Proverbs, um, in raising children. Proverbs is a guide that it's a book in the Bible that you can refer to when raising a child as well. You can use that scriptures to actually educate and bring up your child in the way that God would want us to bring up a child. So for you that do not have a child of your own and is now in this um, relationship or in this marriage where the father relationship, it is okay not to know, because that being a parent is very difficult, and trying to replace the other parent or disciplining them may not in raising these children. You need to talk with your partner um, so that your partner can give you a clear indication of what your partner parent, because it can be very overwhelming maybe at some point, but it can also be very liberating to know what how you can um, be. So once you know what your partner expects of you, it will also make your life. But it is not such a tedious exercise. It is not um, it's not all that doom and gloom. Once you have a relationship with the children, your life actually becomes so much easier um, to accomplish in a blended family, and that will make your life a walk in the park. I almost want to say, one, create to establish a good and healthy relationship with the ex as well. Once you have got those two things um, on your side, you will have you will have a walk in the park, and being in a blended family will not be like a hammer is hanging over your head. It will actually make your life easier. And again, I just want to reiterate and to speak to the exes as well. You don't get any joy out of making another person's life miserable. I've seen it. The reason it's maybe even not, it's not always that there was a third party involved, hence the relationship broke up or the divorce exist, or it came about a divorce. Things happen, and there's so many things that happens in put out there to encourage. I want to encourage the exes out there that it is important, or get go through your emotions, come to the point of healing and restoration, and love, because at the end of the day you will be a happy person and they will be a happy person, and most of all your children will be happy people. And lastly, I want to add, if you are struggling in this blended family, um, there are places, or there are, go out and seek counseling. Go out and seek family counseling. You will be able to have this counseling that will improve your relationship as a family. And you can even do this without leaving your home. You can all sit in the comfort of your home and have the sessions. Somebody come in made of the day, and it will help your partner feel better about what's happening, what to talk about, what is the next step, where we're heading, what is our goal at the end of the day. And I'm sure that there are people out there that can help you build a family in a blended family setup.
Yes, and another thing is not realizing that it takes work. It takes a lot of work, especially if you haven't had children of your own. Like in my mother's case now, where she didn't have any children of her own first. Then when she married my father, then she got two children. It takes a lot of work as well to look after the child and to make sure that the child has everything he needs. And you would also have to take responsibility for that child, because I mean, like now, even though it's your partner's biological child, with it's just your partner's child. It is both of your child. It's both of your child
It's
because
you.
you are also the
You accept your responsibility and your role as a parent for these children, it will also make your life a lot easier. Remember, you made the decision that you want to take this partner, and with this partner comes children as well of yourself, um, to make the relationship work. It is what you are going to put in to make this relationship work at the end of the day. Um, yeah, I know it might seem difficult, but blended families is no longer an uncommon um, thing that we see in our communities. Back then, there used to be a lot of strife and a year pool and a there pool, but at the end of and we need to put unfortunately, we have come to the end of the show. We have had a very interesting topic, and I see that Alwyn Camo wanted to ask a question. I am still available offline. You're welcome to ask me your question, Alwyn. I will answer you as soon as I can. But you were listening to Pastor A and Jamal on the show Real Talk on Radio East River. It was nice in a better for the better information we shared with you today. Put you in a better position or in a better understanding of what your role is and what you can do to bring forth a better relationship. It was nice chatting with you. It was nice being here with you. Until next time, goodbye.
And tune in next week.
Every day you can spin and win.
There's a new phenomenon that's gotten Zanzi spinning. Well, that's something you don't see every day.
Yo, Matema, why are you busy spinning around?
With Cell C, you can spin and win prizes.
Amatema, you must spin on the Cell C app.
Every day you can spin and win.
There's a new phenomenon that's gotten Zanzi spinning. Well, that's something you don't see every day.
Yo, Matema, why are you busy spinning around?
With Cell C, you can spin and win prizes.
Amatema, you must spin on the Cell C app.
Get your free spins day by day and win cars, holidays, generators, cash, and more.
Gevormd met liefdeshanden, een speelbeeld van zegen.